years. It's a long time. Dinosaurs were roaming the earth when I was doing networking. I actually started networking when I was 16. Joined a little company called Amway, and I was going to take and make my fortune in Amway. I wasn't quite old enough to join. I talked my father into signing me up, and I was going to make my $1 million in Amway in the first couple years or so and retire wealthy. And so he had to sign me up because I wasn't quite old enough yet. So he was going to sign me up, and when I turned 18, I had already made my $1 million. I was going to pay him back, and we were going to be good. Didn't quite work out that way, but I've been around networking a long time. Enough said. The reason I tell you that is I've seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the way beyond ugly in network marketing. I've seen it all. I've seen every kind of comp plan, including comp plans are so simple you can do them on a cocktail napkin. And comp plans, you'd have to have a doctorate in statistics and mathematics to begin to understand them. You'll love this, by the way. This is a very, very simple comp plan on this company. But before we even get started, I want to cover just a couple things that I think are critical. If you're on this call, you're a professional networker. You're on this call because you believe there's an opportunity here, or you've heard about an incredible product, and both are there. But one of the things that we try to do in networking is we try to find a product that fits what I call the bed principle. Now, what's the bed principle? Well, B is it has to be believable. Okay? So the product that we're talking about here is a product that you already have. Your cell phone's very believable. As a matter of fact, it's the most precious thing you have, other than perhaps your wife, and there are some people out there that would trade the wife for the cell phone if they had to make a choice.
Ooh.
We don't need to we don't need to worry about whether the product's believable. The second thing is the E. Is it exclusive? And you're going to find that cell phones are not exclusive. This particular cell phone is unbelievably exclusive, and we're going to cover why in detail. The second thing is it duplicatable? Well, you don't even need to worry about that. And the reason for that is everybody on this call has a cell phone. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what network marketing business you're in. Unless you're looking at somebody's pearly whites, you are talking on a smartphone. So we don't need to worry if it's duplicatable. It is absolutely imminently duplicatable. Verizon alone, I'm told, has about 87.5 million people on cell phones. That's one company. That's one company. If we took 0.5% of the cell phone market that was out there, we would all be liquid millionaires if you're on this call right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to take and kick this off right from the beginning. Terry, mute yourself out. You got some background noise there. And we are on the way. There we go. Now I can see me. I can see what I'm doing. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a company. We're going to talk about a company that's about $200 million. We're going to talk about a company that's 10 years in the making. Yes, they make a cell phone. No, that's not their product. It's no secret at this point in time that all of us out there are concerned about our privacy. It's not something that we take for granted anymore. We used to, and before we start, let me tell you what. You are not entitled to secrecy in this country. We're way past that. You are not entitled to secrecy. However, you are entitled to privacy, and we don't have that. We have what's called a panopticon, and if you're not familiar with that word, let me give you an illustration that best explains it. If you were to walk into your nearest federal prison, you will find in the center is the guards area, the control area. Okay, they control everything that goes on in the periphery, all around them. They are the panopticon. It's a few that are controlling the many. Okay, well, we have a panopticon in government right now, and in privacy as it relates to our communication, because everything you do is really being controlled by a few. Now, when you're on your cell phone today, most of us realize, and if you don't, your emails are being saved, your conversations are being saved, and they can be monitored at will. Everything you do on that phone everybody else can access. You say, well, not really. Yeah, really. If you're on a cell phone and you send something through Google, whether it's an email, a chat, a picture, you need to understand something. You have about 200 people that have access to that. Well, if that's the case, I'll take the personal stuff and I'll just delete it off my phone. Okay? It's good for saving space, and you can delete it off your Google Drive. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to delete it off the cloud. And Google owns the cloud. You see, no matter what you do, if you ever place that information on there, it's permanently there. You cannot replace it. That includes every text you have, every communication you have, every cute private note you sent to that sweetheart in your life, and every picture that should only be seen by the recipient of the picture, a special picture from a husband to a wife or whatever the case may be. If you send it, 200 to 300 people have access to it. Now, if you send it via an iPhone, you have a double problem because you send it on Google, the cloud now, the Google has access to it, and you send it through your iPhone, iCloud has access to it. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm really not. I'm not a big fan of government either. I just want to be left alone. I really, truly just want to be left alone. I want my email to be private. I want my information to be private. I want my data to be private. I want my pictures to be private. I just really want my life to be private. Finally, just once. And if you're on this call, that's probably important to you. And that's what this is all about. You see, if I were to tell you that at midnight tonight, a group of armed men were going to break into your house, and it would go down like this. They were going to sneak in through the back door. Now, the problem is they found where you left the key. So they're not going to break the door down and wake you up, but they're going to sneak in your house, and they're going to go through your drawers. They're going to go through your desk. They're going to go through your file cabinet. They're going to find your banking information. They're going to go through your bedroom. They're going to find out all the stuff that goes on between you and your wife that you've ever discussed. When they get done with that, they're going to go in there into your children's room. They're going to go through your 17-year-old's diary. Now, they have a name for that diary, by the way. It's called Facebook. And they're going to take all this information, and they're going to quietly walk out of your house, and they're going to put the information for sale. If you're lucky, they'll sell it to a legitimate buyer. If you're not so lucky, it'll end up on the dark web. And if you want to know how pervasive that is, I promise you I can go onto the dark web, and for $1.25 a piece, I can buy credit cards and expiration dates. If I want to spend $2 or $2.25, I can buy your credit cards. I can buy your banking information that goes with the credit cards. And if I want to max out about $3.50, I can buy your credit cards, your banking information, your credit report. I can buy your life. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. You can go onto the dark web and you can buy credit cards, 10,000 at a time. And you wonder why you're getting hacked? It's very simple. Now, these people didn't steal this information. You gave it to them. You gave it to them. Because if you have one of these, every app on this phone, you had to agree to the terms and conditions. Now, here's what I can tell you about how this thing works. The big print giveth, and the little print taketh away. In the big print, the first thing you saw was, your privacy is so important to us. It is critical. We're going to protect your privacy, raw, because we are your biggest fans. And let me tell you what the little print on page 3 said. However, question mark, you give us permission to do this and this and this and this. And in that app, and most of the apps on your phone say, we require the use of your camera. We require the use of your, to access your system. We want to be able to access your files. We want to be able to access your contacts. And if you go through the permissions of the apps that you have on your phone that you take for granted every day, you wonder, why does a program that's just supposed to help me figure something on my phone need access to all this information out there? Why is that? Well, it's really simple.
Scott, hold on 1 minute. Scott, a lot of people are trying to get in and you have to,
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we
yeah,
go.
all these people are blowing up my phone trying to, you got to let them in.
There we are.
Okay. Fantastic.
There we are. Now, that's a good point, Terry. Thank you very much. That just goes to show you that the guy doing the call is probably not too bright, so you can do this too. So anyway, when you get the apps on your phone, they give you permission to do, the app gets permission to do everything. Now, why is that?